Hey, I'm Kev Kerr, Mr. Kerr, and welcome to Power Oversteer, where in this episode I'm going to preview the second round of the 2013 Formula 1 season. After a great start in Australia for Kimi Räikkönen and Lotus, and after some very rainy conditions as well, we're going to Malaysia for a back-to-back opening to this season, and it's the second round at the Sepang International Circuit, the 15th Malaysian Grand Prix. It started in 1999 and it started with Ferrari winning, but not Michael Schumacher. No, we're in a bit of a title battle there. It was Eddie Irvine who won the race from Schumacher and his title rival Mika Häkkinen in the McLaren, but in the end it proved quite useless. In the end, as Mika Häkkinen won the title in Suzuka in Japan in 1999, but this was before there was a bit of a bargeboard gate. Ross Brawn was running around Paris with a bargeboard and a tape measure going, this was legal, after McLaren had appealed the result, and in the end it did actually prove to be legal, so the result stood, and then we went to Suzuka where, as I said, Häkkinen won the title, but Ferrari did win the Constructors' Championship. And so 14 years later we now go there after the second round of the season, not the penultimate round anymore. And so after Kimi Räikkönen won in the Lotus, we're now looking to see who will win in Malaysia, who will win in what looks to be very rainy conditions after quite a rainy opening to the season. I have only seen rain being scheduled for this weekend, so it might be a rare case of a race not actually taking part on a Sunday. It could take part on the Monday, because as we know in F1 nowadays, the tyres are quite useless in the wet, and so if it is raining, we normally get the safety car out, normally wait until it's virtually bone dry and enters, and then they go out racing again, just like in Canada 2011, and so it could be quite an interesting weekend. So to start the preview, let's look at the circuit. So as I said, it's quite a long circuit. It's the first designed by Hermann Tilke, solely designed by Hermann Tilke. He did redo the A1 ring in Austria, but this is the first circuit he had designed from scratch, and so he also went on to design Shanghai, Bahrain, Turkey, Valencia, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, Korea and India. So he's got quite a resume of designing circuits recently, but this 15 turn circuit was his first brainchild, and it's quite actually had quite a mixed bag in 99 when it first came onto the circuit, quite a mixed reaction, but it's actually going to be quite a good circuit. I think it's quite a good circuit as well. I do like the flow nature of it. It does have those Tilke signatures of those hairpins, especially the first turn and the last turn, but it does have some quite good turns, such as turns 6 and 7, those flying turns in the middle set, the double right 8 and 9 which follows, and of course turn 14, which is, there's never one line through there, but I'm often on the wrong line anyway in F1 2012, but it is quite an interesting circuit. It has quite a few firsts as well, quite an interesting circuit for facts. You do have first for Jenson Button, got his first podium here in 2004. The year before, Fernando Alonso got his first podium in 2003 and got his first pole here as well. He was the youngest pole sitter at 21 years of age. Before that, Vettel bloke got one in Monza 2008. I haven't heard of him recently. I don't know what's happened to him, frankly. So yeah, there's quite a lot of firsts here. Of course, Kimi Räikkönen got his first win in that race in 2003 as well for McLaren. Is his first of his career. He should have got one in France 2002, but unfortunately kind of outbraked himself, and that Schumacher bloke won, and yeah, that was a bit annoying. But yeah, there's quite a few firsts here, and so that record at the moment is a 34.2, I believe, from Pablo Montoya in the 2004 Williams, and the pole record is Michael Schumacher with 33 flat from the same year. So I don't think we're going to get those figures, but it would be nice, and I think we might get in the low 40s instead. But yeah, it's not going to be a race where you can expect the cars to go that fast. So we talked a bit about the circuit, a bit how it's flowing, a bit about how it's done by Tilke, and a bit about its history. But let's talk about this year. Let's actually look at the contenders for this race. And as I said, Kimi Raikkonen won last week in the Lotus. He won for Fernando Alonso in the Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull after Red Bull locked out the front row in qualifying. But this week qualifying, I'm not really sure to choose because, as I said, it's like it's going to be raining quite a lot this weekend. So I'm not sure who to go for this weekend. I think I might go for Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes, who was top of Q1 and Q2 in Australia last week in those rainy conditions. Maybe look out for the Toro Rossos as well. Have a good record round here in Malaysia in recent years. Jordan Verne got his first points here in F1 last year with an 8th place finish in the race, and they look very strong in Q1 in Melbourne, and so maybe look out for them if it is a bit wet. Also look out for Marussia, the battle at the back. It's of course Caterham's home race, being owned by Tony Fernandes, who owns Air Asia and QPR. Yeah, and so look for Caterham to have great strong home support, or look for Mercedes to nick that home support, as they're sponsored by Petronas, who also sponsor the event and have sponsored the event throughout its duration. And so Petronas are an oil company in Malaysia, in case you didn't know. They formerly sponsored Sauber in the late 90s, early thousands, and so look for them. Look for Mercedes to have a very strong foreign this weekend as well, and so maybe I expect Mercedes to do well for these home fans they have, and so I think maybe one of them might sneak a podium. I think maybe Rosberg will sneak a podium if it does stay wet in the race, but as I say in qualifying, look for him to be strong as well. Look for Ferrari to be strong, of course. They did the constructors after one round, after second and fourth with Alonso and Massa, and so they normally have a strong wet car, as they showed last year with Alonso winning the race from Perez in the Sauber, despite Perez having a bit of an off and Sauber maybe staying back a bit because Ferrari kind of their partners, and so yeah, look for Alonso to do well, and I think Alonso will win this race. And so if I continue my top three predictions, I think Raikkonen will get on the podium. He does have a good record round here, as I said, he won in 2003, and of course he got his 2009 ice cream and coke, and so that he's got a very good record round here, and so I think he will get a podium as well to continue a strong start to the season. But Alonso is the most successful driver around, or joint most successful driver around here, with Michael Schumacher with 3 wins, so I think he will get that 4th win round here. And another driver to look out for, maybe a bit of a dark horse, is Nico Hülkenberg, I think, in the Sauber. We don't really know his pace because he of course missed the race in Australia, and I think he will get a top 5 here if it does stay wet, or even if it is like drying conditions, in that wet dry conditions. Him and Jenson Button of course very good in those conditions, and so I think he will do well. Maybe Button will drag that McLaren into some more points as well, and of course Perez as well. You can't look out for him, especially after his performance hit around here last season, so maybe he will grab a point for McLaren. But I think it will just be an interesting weekend. I don't really expect anyone to really dominate round here, much like Australia. I think we expected Red Bull to dominate the race after Vettel, after that front row lockout in qualifying, but it didn't turn out in the race. And I think again, if it is in these wet conditions, as the weather forecasters say, of course can't always trust the weather forecasters, but I do think it is Malaysia, it is known to just pour it down whenever it likes it, and so I do think it will be very well. I do think it will be a very interesting race, and I do think we don't really know anything that's going to happen this weekend. But my top 3, if you didn't hear, was Alonso, Raikkonen and Rosberg. I think that will be the top 3. Let me know what your top 3 is in the comments below, and let me know who you think will be strong round here and who you think will fail round here. And probably Williams, probably Maldonado, probably goes in the gravel in turn 1 again. But I hope you enjoyed this Malaysia preview. I hope you enjoyed this on the Formula 1 show channel, as well as being on my main channel. We'll do that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm out for watching. So till next time, cheerio. Before I forget, there are a couple of things going on apart from F1 this weekend. I know there are other motor racing series other than F1, and so in this bit after basically the post-war, I thought I'd include them and talk about them. So the IndyCar series starts this weekend, starts in St. Petersburg, Florida, a 15 or 16 round championship. I forget off the top of my head, I think it's 15 rounds this season. But yeah, it's basically the American, well, it's not the American version of F1, but it's the Premier American Open World Series, and so that's on ESPN in the UK, I believe. And of course, there's always good stuff you can find on the internet, streams maybe. And other series starting this weekend is the World Touring Car Championship at Monza in Italy, the 10-round championship, and it's always an exciting championship. This year Honda, they're going full time in it with Gabio Tarquini and Thiago Montero, but there's also last year's championship. Rob Huffy's going to be in this with the new Mooneg, I think that's how you say it, motorsport team, a former GT1 team, who have entered the series this season, so he's going to be in one of their Seats. And of course there's Van Mudder, who almost won it last year. He's a 2-time or 3-time champion, I believe, in the World Touring Car Championship. Yeah, he's with the RML team, who used to run the Works Chevrolet team that won the championship last season with Huff. Well, he's with them this year in the Chevrolet, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they all line up in the World Touring Car Championship. There's also going to be NASCAR as well. I believe Alex Afro has done a preview for that, so check that out. And GP2. There is a GP2 championship, the Premier Feeder Series 2 F1. They're starting this weekend in Malaysia as well. There's going to be Art Grand Prix. They have a very interesting night with James Collado. He was top rookie last year. I believe he's going to be challenging for the title this year, along with Daniel App, who was runner-up in GP3 last season. You've also got at Downs Marcus Ericsson, who's a veteran of this series. Didn't really perform with iSport, but he's moved to Downs this year, and Downs have won the last 2 titles, so he looks like he's going to be very strong in the championship. Of course, there's Fabio Lima in the racing engineering car as well. He's been with that team a couple of years. He's always shown glimpses of being very good, but he's never really consistently held that during the whole season, so it'll be interesting to see if he does that. There's Philippe Nazar on this here. I always pronounce his surname wrong, but yeah, the Brazilian, he was a rookie last year with Downs. He's moved to Carlin, I think, this year, alongside Joel Palmer, and so I think Nazir or Philippe, I think that's better. I think he will challenge for the title again this year. Will be a strong top 5 contender. He showed flashes of being very good last season with Dams. That he's learning this series, but it might be another year of where he might be learning, or if he will be challenging, a bit like Jules Bianchi in 2011. We're not really sure if he's really going to be challenging for the title. Like Bianchi never really challenged for the title that year, with Grosjean running away with it at the front. But yeah, those appear to be the main contenders off the top of my head, and I think it'll be a very interesting GP2 season. 11 rounds this year, starting, as I said, in Malaysia and ending in Abu Dhabi this year. It's been a championship round. There'll be no non-championship rounds in 2011 and 2012, and there's going to be around Singapore, and then the rest are in Europe with Monza, of course, and Spa, and that's when GP3 enters the fray in the European season. That will start in Spain. But yeah, those are the other series that are going on. I thought I had this on to the end of the video. I thought I'd publicise them as well, because I like watching most motorsport series around, and I thought it'd be interesting if you would know about those motorsport series as well. And I believe the GP2 coverage is on the Sky Sports F1, and of course you can find out streams, along with NASCAR. That is on Premier Sports in the UK. That's a paid sports channel in the low channel list, and again streams. And yeah, and the World Touring Car Championship is on Eurosport in the UK. So yeah, I hope you check those series out as well as F1. And now I am definitely going off. Okay, bye.